What's up, man? I just played the piano.
Nice.
See, I'm a musician too now.
Yeah.
That sounded great, man.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you very
coming by.
much. Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here.
What do you, I mean, you kind of tend to bounce between big, I don't want to say big band because then you think of big bands, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Totally plugged in and then totally not plugged in like you did today. Do you have a preference, or is it basically apples and oranges? You like them both?
I definitely dig them both. I like the fun of playing solo is that it's so contained within you that you can really take it anywhere. So in a lot of ways, it's more open there. But I think like all things, it's just a balance. It's finding your groove, whether you're playing with a band or solo, and just making sure that every performance feels exciting and has an arc, and even if it's just one guy, you still want it to feel like a great rock concert,
Yeah. I could see that. I mean, I could see that. It really, whether you're backed behind musicians or whether you're not backed by musicians, it's still probably the same experience in a way. Right?
Yeah,
You're still feeding off the energy of the crowd.
Yeah, and you want it to go up and down and have, moments of levity and moments where you push the audience a little bit, like all those same things that you want when you're having a band show. You try to create in a solo setting too, but it's just the dynamics are different. They're on a different scale because you're solo, so it's you gotta and I love them both. It's when you shift from one right to the other that it's confusing. You're like, if you've just come off a solo thing and you're like, why are all these people making so much noise? And vice versa. So.
Well, talk to me about the new album, which is actually coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's actually amazing because you just got off the road.
Right.
To support the album, right?
Yeah.
Now you have a little lull, or?
Well, so the new album, Blunderstone Rookery, comes out tomorrow, June 18th, and we got this idea. My manager said, why don't you go out and introduce all these songs solo? You haven't played solo in years, and I think just delivering the music to people as it was kind of written, and that it was great. It's been great. I just finished yesterday, so excuse the puffy eyes and.
You sound that good. It's not even 12, and you sounded that good.
I know. This is like it's definitely. But it's a different way to do it, and I'm all about trying to do things different. You don't want to keep repeating the same things you've always done. It's so. This was kind of a neat way to introduce the record in it, but now I don't go into a lull so much as I go. I'm headed down to do Mountain Stage this week in West Virginia, and lots of neat opportunities. Putting the record out. That's always sort of when things are the most happening. So, and I go to London for the first time and play in the UK, and so it's not really a lull, but I'm not complaining about that. I think I'm glad to have opportunities.
Yeah, I guess I meant like a full-fledged tour bus, that whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
that it's a lull from that for a moment.
Yeah.
But we do that again in the fall. So
Are you excited? I mean, you must be excited about taking your music to the UK for
a thrill.
First time, right?
Thrilled, yeah. I mean, I've been over there to play on bases because we've done a few military tours. But this is the first time I'm going into Ireland and Scotland, and it's just, it's all part of what you hope, you want to do fun things in your life, and I feel like I'm getting to do them right now. So.
This is your first record that's being released?
Yeah.
In Europe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know. It only took 12 years, but here we go,
I mean, I was talking to you a little bit off camera about this, but it feels to me at least that you're always doing something. Like you're always touring, you always have gigs. Even if you don't have like a new album out, you're still kind of out there. Is this something like where if you're home for a day or two, you just get the itch right away, or?
I'm starting to realize I think I get the itch quicker than other people, than certain artists, because I do. I mean, I took 4 months off at the beginning of this year, and it felt like 4 years to me, for sure. But it's also, if I'm being totally honest, it's also like the kind of artist I am and where I'm at. This is I'm a working class guy, and I do this at this point at least. I do this not to be. I'm not seeking fame and fortune so much as just this is how I take care of my family.
Right.
So I you know, I'm out there a lot. I try not to be out there too much and to bring new things to it. But you know, you also just had a baby, so you know, once you have a baby, you know, time flies so fast that you're like, didn't we just do that? And it's like, it's been a year and a half, but yeah. You know,
I mean, yesterday was Father's Day, right? And like, I had my first Father's Day last year, and I'm like, wait a minute, this just happened.
We just did this.
Going
I know.
on?
You know, and I think a lot of the people that come to my shows are in kind of a similar place in life where maybe you're getting married, you're having kids, you're doing that, and you know, so you don't get out as much, so you're kind of like, oh, we just saw that guy, and it's like, well, it was, you know, 11 months ago, but that's how it is when, you know, you get
you
into
come up
this
for air and you're like, wait a
phase
minute.
of life. Yeah, totally.
So has your songwriting changed? I mean, I'm assuming it must have, since, I mean, you have 4 kids, so I'm assuming, I'm sure that they changed after the first one, the songwriting process. Does it continue to change with the different life experiences that you have with each individual one? By the way, I just did that off camera. But has it changed, like, you know, kid to kid, or not so much?
I mean, you know, it definitely, the first shift happened, you know, around the birth of my first daughter, since that's what I do, just daughters for this guy.
That's it. Are you done? You're done?
4 daughters.
You're gonna go
Yeah,
on camera and just say you're done? You're tapped
I'm going
out?
to see if we can raise them now. Yeah, that's the goal. But you know, the first shift is, you know, in the beginning, I think you're kind of writing songs, you know, and you don't know what they're for, or maybe they're about, you know, just relationships or injustices that you see, you know. And when I had my first child, you know, I definitely found a new well that was very interesting to me, you know, writing about family and what it means, you know, to bring people up in the world, so that was a shift. But the other big shift that's kind of happened more gradually over time, and that I think is in a lot of ways more interesting, is the fact that kids, they don't care if you're a big deal. They don't care if you just sold out a giant show or you just were in the charts or something, like, you know, and by the same token, they don't care if you just did a terrible job. You don't care if you had a bad show or your record didn't do what you thought or you got a bad review. You know, it's like, and there's something really healthy about that. All they care about is who you are when you're with them in that moment. And that has really informed my songwriting in a bigger way. It's like, you don't write for other people. You don't write to put something out there. You write what you want your legacy to be. You write what's important to you in that moment. You know, it makes things much more real and much more, and there's a lot more humility in that. And I think it's had a big impact in my writing and in who I am as a person and what's important to me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. I mean, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to end this.
Yeah.